Good morning. As she mentioned, I'm Hilary Shelton, Director of the NAACP's Washington Bureau. The Washington Bureau is a federal legislative and national public policy arm of the nation's oldest and largest grassroots-based civil rights organization. We've been around about 102 years, so been involved in a number of struggles across this country. We have about 2,200 membership units, about 500,000 card-carrying members, and the struggle for educational equity and equality is something that we've struggled for quite some time. For over 15 years now, I've been the director of the NAACP's Washington Bureau and continue to work in that capacity. Throughout our experiences, the NAACP has fought for access to high-quality public education for all of our children. For many years, we fought against segregation, rejecting notions that separate but equal could very well coexist. And while we still sadly find ourselves fighting efforts to segregate or, in some cases, resegregate our schools, we have also spent much time and energy in the past decades trying to ensure that the public school in every corner of our country receive the resources and funding necessary to provide all students with a high-quality education. In other words, our struggle continues. It's because of our history and our struggle that we are pleased to join the effective initiatives such as the Campaign for High School Equity in promoting an agenda that we think is important to the success of students, with particular focus on racial and ethnic minorities and low-income students. In order to ensure all students graduate high school prepared for college and work, we need highly effective teachers in every classroom, period. As studies, experience, and common sense clearly demonstrate, high-quality teachers are the single most important factor influencing student academic achievement and successful outcomes, including graduation rates. In fact, a 2008 study by the Journal of Urban Economics that used student test scores and graduation outcomes to evaluate teachers found that the ability of schools to hire and keep high-quality teachers has the proven potential to significantly reduce student dropout rates. High-quality teachers mean teachers who have been especially trained in the fields in which they teach. Sadly, in our country today, students of color are disproportionately taught by out-of-field teachers. In fact, the highest rates of out-of-field teachers occur in high poverty and high minority schools, which in turn lead to a disproportionate impact on students of color, including Native American students, some of which you heard just a little earlier. For example, in one recent study by the Education Trust, economically disadvantaged students are assigned out-of-field teachers in mathematics at more than twice the rate of their more affluent peers. Specifically, more than 40% of math classes in high-poverty secondary schools are taught by out-of-field teachers compared to less than 17% of the math teachers in schools that serve the fewest economically disadvantaged students. It is because of this crucial role played by high-quality teachers, men and women who teach the subject in which they are trained, that the NAACP has called for a key element of the upcoming reauthorization of Elementary and Secondary Education Act to be a requirement that states provide evidence of realistic plans that ensure that students of color, low-income students, students for whom English is not their primary language, and students with disabilities are not taught at greater rates than other students by inexperienced, unqualified, out-of-field, or less effective teachers. Training, however, is not enough. We need to increase the pool of effective teachers to ensure that it better reflects the student population in which it serves, which will require strategic recruitment and retention plans. Teachers who are able to relate to their students or have familiarity with the needs and strengths of the community are better positioned to build important relationships with students and their families, a road to success. Teachers should be adequately prepared to meet the needs of unique learners. Meeting the increased needs of effective classroom teachers also requires an improved evaluation system. Individual students' achievements and significant growth should be a part of any teacher's evaluation system in order to distinguish those teachers who are making measurable improvements in student learning. Additionally, teacher evaluation systems should be aligned by high-quality professional development that is targeted to, number one, identify the teachers who are excelling. Number two, support the teachers who are struggling. And number three, to retain those who are making contributions and help them develop to their full potential. On behalf of the NAACP, let me again thank my partners here in this struggle. The Campaign for High School Equity, the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, the Mexican-American Legal Defense and Education Fund, just to name a few. I would also like to thank all the people in the groups which have worked so hard to put forth a constructive plan for helping raise the quality of public education in our country. And I look forward to your questions just after this. But for now, Let me bring up a good friend of ours who works very hard for the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, who handles their education agenda, and quite frankly, who we look to at the NAACP for most of our education work as well. Let me bring to this podium Diane Pache.